Welcome back to Sacramento and Company. Well, the 3 R's of recycling: reduce, reuse, recycle. They're everywhere, so you should know about them. And many people are trying to do their part. But is it enough to once in a while remember to put your newspaper or cans in the recycling bin, or is the responsibility greater than that?
Yeah, I thought I was doing my part with walking this outside, but apparently not. According to our next guest, Dr. Jeff Schweitzer, it's not only responsibility, but it is a moral obligation. He's a former scientist with the Clinton administration and the author of the new book, Beyond Cosmic Dice: Moral Life in a Random World. Thanks so much for being with us, Doctor. All right, let's talk about this moral component to environmentalism. There's a lot that people talk about with the Go Green movement, but we need to take it a step further.
I think ultimately the issue of sustainability is a moral one. And I don't mean that in a preachy way. I mean it in a way that most people would agree that we have an obligation, a moral obligation, to bequeath to our kids a world that is at least as good as we inherited from our parents. And if it really is a moral issue and our kids are going to see a sustainable future, I think we have to completely fundamentally rethink what we mean about morality.
Okay.
Well, and it starts with us. We were just talking about it during the break that, you know, even is it enough just to do this? But it is if you're making a change in yourself first.
Right. Environmentalism is only going to work if we can have people integrate it meaningfully in their lives without it being imposed on them in a way that's artificial. And we can do that, but part of that transition is changing the way we think about it from a moral perspective.
So that it's all our responsibility. But I like what you said, Doctor, that it's important just to recognize the small steps. In other words, if you're a family trying to do it, maybe a small step like replacing your light bulbs, turning off, versus you know, just wearing sackcloth and totally carrying all recyclable diapers and bags. So if everybody made at least a small step, it would help.
Absolutely. There are a number of practical things that can be done that people can integrate environmentalism into their lives. I like to call it like Meatless Monday. Just take one day a week where you don't eat meat.
Okay.
Most of the 40 million acres of tropical forest that we lose every year are lost to clearing for cows, for grazing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so just one day a week, don't eat meat. A shower for 1 less minute a day. Wash your towels once a week instead of every day. I mean, you come out of the shower clean anyway. There are tons of things that you can do.
Turn off the faucet in between brushing your teeth.
When you have an opportunity, put in low flow toilets and low flow faucets. A lot of things you can do.
Now, you work with the Clinton administration, Jeff. Now having Barack Obama in office, you hear a lot about his green initiatives. Do you think this will put it more on the front burner again?
Having a president in the Oval Office that is amenable to environmental conservation is a very big step and a welcome change. And we need somebody in the White House if we're going to have really big change in the world, domestically and globally. But that's only the first step. That's only the beginning. We have to do our own part. The president can frame the debate. He can set the tone, but it's up to us as individuals to actually implement the ideas. Follow through.
When you talk about morality, is it a part of our biological makeup? Or do we learn it?
And practice, hopefully.
It very much is a part of our biological makeup. Most people believe that our morality is derived from our religion, but really our moral core goes deeper than that, back to our basic biology as social creatures. The traits that we view as moral, fidelity, honesty, trustworthiness, reciprocity, kindness to others, are all really primeval characteristics that helped our ancestors survive. In a world of ugly and bad and mean predators, we only survived in cooperative groups, our early ancestors. And so what we call moral is really just good behavior that strengthened those tribal bonds that was so important to survival back then.
What made you decide to write the book?
When I was at the White House, I recognized that many of the policies that we implement here in the United States have huge impacts globally. And I felt that we really didn't have the moral framework properly instituted to implement those policies in a way that made sense. So after I left the White House, I decided that I wanted to sit back and think about what is driving us to help the world, our children, the environment, health and human services across the world. And so I wanted to reframe the debate.
Well, and it's getting scary. You think about all the landfills and everything going on, and if people don't understand and get on board, I mean, we could be going in a really bad direction. We already are. And I understand you have Al Gore as a big supporter of your book.
He isn't. Bill Maher, by the way, is too.
Yeah, I know. You know,
I love that.
Right.
One of the things I think in this day and economy, when people talk about recycling and going green, there's going to be so much cost associated with it. But you're saying it could actually help create jobs and sustainability?
Oh, absolutely. The recycling industry creates about 1 million jobs a year right now, and generates about $250 billion in gross revenue. So it's definitely, but recycling has many benefits. There's economic and environmental benefits. We reduce the amount of land we set aside for landfills. We reduce air and water pollution.
Okay.
We save energy.
All right.
And
now,
we create jobs. So
we're
we're going to go
inspired.
recycle.
We're going to go walk this off to the recycle. Thanks so much for being with us, Doctor.